In 2025, Russia plans to produce 75,000 guided aerial bombs, which is 50% more than last year. Russians are literally proud that they are saturating the front line and nearby cities with Soviet aerial bombs that they have managed to modernize. But there is already information that the Ukrainian military has found a method to shoot down Russian bombs. All the details are in the following report by TSN journalist Vitaly Afanasyev.
An enemy Su-24 is circling in the sky over Donetsk region. Almost every day, Russian bombers are leveling Ukrainian cities and villages to the ground, dropping dozens of guided aerial bombs. Russian bombers make another circle and drop a 1.5-ton bomb towards Pokrovsk. It was at this moment that the Ukrainian air defense forces acted ahead of the attack and shot down the bomb right over the field. Given that enemy planes tried to avoid entering the range of our air defense, such a shoot-down falls into the category of extraordinary and almost impossible.
There was information that they were shot down by anti-aircraft installations, including Soviet-era Su-22s, and were precisely intercepted by missile systems such as the OSA. It could have been a Buk. The most effective are the two systems, Patriot and NASAMS, or ARSP for Kabul, as well as the operation of our attack aviation, particularly the F-16 aircraft. But we have very, very few of them.
There are indeed very few F-16s and Mirages, for now. At the same time, shoot down relatively cheap enemy aircraft with interceptor missiles from the Patriot, NASA, or Podsi Iris systems. Completely shooting them down costs several $1 million, which is too expensive. That's why the Ukrainian armed forces are learning to hit guided Russian aerial bombs with existing or cheaper weapons.
Automatic cannons, like the ZU for example, as well as the Tunguska and Gepard systems. Option number 2 is short-range missiles. Actions such as R-73, which were installed on sea drones, shot down helicopters and targeted Russian planes. We have a program with the Americans called Frankensam, where Western radars and Western missiles, particularly the AIM-9 and C-7 Sparrow, air-to-air missiles are launched not from our Buk systems, but from our old Soviet S-300 systems.
At the same time, one of the most effective ways to combat enemy bombers today is considered to be long-range aerial drones. Their task is to strike at the tactical aviation of the Russians while they are resting at airfields. The list of such strike drones is rapidly increasing, and the strike capabilities being built into these smart unmanned aerial vehicles will surely surprise the enemy in the near future.
The focus is on jet propulsion, and the jet systems that we have today can also be used against bombs and aircraft because they are not just faster, but they also have a guidance system.
Enemy Su-34 and Su-35 bombers are primarily bombing Ukraine from distances of up to 50 kilometers. They operate both from the state border and from the sea, so targeting planes in the sky is currently not an easy task. But, according to the Air Force, just last year Russia dropped on Ukraine more than 40,000 bombs. That summer, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Ukraine, Oleksandr Syrsky, tasked the technical units with learning how to combat guided aerial bombs. The enemy, and such a solution has been found.
Because it focuses on the frontline manpads with a short range. This is when a drone like the Wing rises to the larger reconnaissance drones of the Orlan type, which actually guide these bombs. This Wing hovers above the reconnaissance drone and is actually propelled by the force of a pneumatic shot and gravity. It fires an FPV drone that detonates directly from the reconnaissance drone.
You can shoot down bombs with a laser. Last year, the UK showcased its development, which it later promised to share with us. From a distance of 1 kilometer, such a laser can hit a coin with precision. The cost of a shot is only £10 sterling.
I personally spoke with the military. They still say that this is not science fiction. And this actually exists. This is our laser weapon, accordingly, which could be aimed at the KB, and under the influence of this beam, roughly speaking, force it to detonate or simply deviate from its course.
All these methods of destroying Russian aircraft and shooting down their guided bombs might not have been invented if Western partners had been able to transfer them to Ukraine. A larger number of anti-aircraft missile systems that could reliably secure the sky, at least along the line of combat engagement. A few additional F-16s and Mirages with long-range missiles under their wings would have permanently deterred the Russians from even approaching our borders.
And right now you'll see unique footage of an actual battle in the Kursk region. The Ukrainian armed forces destroyed the column of the 155th Brigade of Russian Marines. Interestingly, the Russians attacked with Soviet Union red flags, but as you can understand, that didn't help them. and also exclusive video of the destruction of an enemy drone launch point in the Kursk region, and the moment the Russian S-350 Vityaz air defense system was destroyed. Its cost is, just for a moment, $135 million. Let's take a look at all the details.
The Ukrainian Defense Forces destroyed an elite unit of Russians in the Kursk region. Russian Marines from the 155th Brigade attempted to storm Ukrainian positions in tanks with Soviet Union red flags, but their efforts were successfully thwarted. Fighters from the 47th, Separate Mechanized Brigade Magura, along with other units, repelled a massive Ian assault by the occupiers. Also in the Kursk region, the Ukrainian armed forces destroyed an enemy stronghold from where the Russians were launching drones at Ukraine.
These are serious losses for the Russian army. It should be noted that it is precisely with the help of fiber optic drones the Russian occupiers are trying to hold back the advance of Ukrainian forces in the Kursk region, specifically to take control of key locations. Strikes are being carried out both against the personnel of the Ukrainian armed forces and accordingly against heavy armored vehicles.
The occupiers also said goodbye to their new generation air defense systems worth $135 million. In the Donetsk region, scouts from the Black Forest Brigade discovered and destroyed the latest Russian short and medium-range air defense system. The
air defense system was providing operational cover for the logistics of the Russian occupiers in this direction, and this significantly we weakened the ability of the occupying forces during the moment of redeploying operational reserves with the aim of further advancing deeper into Ukrainian territory.
Meanwhile, on the night of February 17th, explosions were heard again in the Krasnodar region.
Here over the settlement flies past us.
According to reports from Russian outlets, drones attacked the Iliski oil refinery. Debris from an allegedly downed drone fell near the oil refinery, causing a fire.
The Iliski oil refinery, its main capacities are designed for processing about 7 million tons of petroleum products. This mainly includes gasoline and diesel fuel, which are used for the logistical needs of the Russian army.
The Russians are in a bad way in the Kursk region. Ukrainian forces have destroyed nearly 20,000 Russian occupiers. The North Korean military also suffered heavy losses. This was stated by the President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, during his speech at the Munich Security Conference.
Apparently, we are talking about North Korean units that are integrated directly into each and the 155th Marine Brigade, the 8th 10th Marine Brigade, and accordingly the 76th Airborne Division. I would note that out of the total number of North Korean soldiers, which according to the main intelligence directorate amounts to about 12,000 dogs in the Kursk region, about 4,000 were directly involved in the combat operations.
The President of Ukraine also reported that the situation has improved in recent days on the Pokrovsk front. According to him, our military feels more confident there. However, he did not disclose any details. It is known that Ukrainian forces liberated the village of Pishane, near Pokrovsk.
We can already talk about complete control by the Ukrainian Defense Forces over this settlement. Interestingly, on the territory of Pishane, there are some of the largest mines for extracting coking coal, without which Ukraine's heavy industry will practically be unable to carry out its production activities.
But the situation in the Kurakov direction remains tense. According to some reports, the occupiers are close to cutting off the Andriivsky pocket and may have also captured a pocket in the eastern village of Ulakli near Kurakov in the Donetsk region.